Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the YouTube channel for another video. I've made a few refurbishments here and there. It's no longer Come Get Your Kanka. That was actually a bit too long. I just abbreviated it or shortened it to Majid Kanka. But anyways, al-muhim, inshallah, in today's video, I am going to talk about 5 things that I've learned about the Turkish people throughout my stay here in Turkey, which has been a little over 3 years, and I've truly learned a lot. I deal with Turkish people on almost a day-to-day basis, and there are obviously things that I love about their culture, I love about their people, and there are obviously things that I also dislike about their culture, and inshallah all of those will be discussed in today's video. So if you're interested in these kind of things, I have to be a YouTuber right now for for growth purposes. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, leave comment section, blah blah blah, you know the ila akhirih. Anyways, the first thing that I've learned throughout my stay here about the Turkish people is that they are very frank and very honest about their opinions and emotions. Now, for some background information, I'm coming from Malaysia, and over there the culture is very different. People have a lot of emphasis on what certain etiquette is polite and what certain etiquette is impolite, and there's a lot of restriction around how you deal with people. However, here in Turkey, and I'm pretty sure in many of the Arab countries as well, if you feel something in your heart, or if you feel something you can't really feel in your mind, but if you think of something, you just speak your mind. You speak what you feel and you express your emotion at that time, in that moment. So this is something that I noticed about the Turkish people, and I experienced it the first time when I was working on a farm. You see, me and my family, we were building a chicken coop. And while I was building this chicken coop in the farm, a Turkish man who was also working there, he came across the chicken coop and he looked at it for a few moments, for a few seconds. And I thought that he was going to say something nice. I mean, you took that much time to seem interested in what I was doing. And then all of a sudden he just blurted out that it looked very ugly. And I was taken aback. I was really shocked by this level of disrespect to all the hard work that I put in. And obviously coming from Malaysia, I was like, wow, that's a very rude thing to say. And I argued my case. I told him it's not ugly, you see, it's beautiful, blah blah blah. Anyways, after the incident happened, I noticed that he was just being frank, and it was just his opinion, and I shouldn't have overreacted. So here in Turkey, in Istanbul specifically, we tend to speak our mind. If you hate someone, you tell them, I don't like you for such and such purposes. If you love someone, you tell them the same way. Whatever you feel in that moment, in that time, although it's not very diplomatic, you tell them what you feel, and this is a very beautiful aspect, you could say, of open communication in this city. Now let's talk about religion and Islam and deen and whatnot. Now, I would categorize Turkish people living in Istanbul into 2 categories. There is one category whom I deem to have an inferiority complex and are always striving as much as they can to be like the Westerners, alright? I mean, they would take a bullet for a white person, okay? They would take a bullet for a white man coming from Europe. And then there's another category of Turkish people, and those are the ones who are very religious, and those are the ones who are very, well, not really religious, but you could say very proud and very happy of their Islamic culture and their Islamic heritage, the religion of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. However, one thing that I learned about the Turkish people when it comes to this regard is, although a Turkish person may love his deen, may love Allah, may love his Rasul, he would be in many cases weak when it comes to practicing Islam, and weak when it comes to consistency in salawat, consistency in ad'iyah, reading Quran and whatnot, because you have to understand that this is a country that has been secular for 100 years, and even until now the government is, I think, internationally recognized as a secular government, and the state affairs and everything is run from a secular point of view. So this is the second thing that I learned about the people living here in Turkey, Istanbul. The third thing that I noticed about the people of Turkey is that they live a very structured lifestyle. So that means 9 a.m. in the morning, they wake up, they send their kids off to school, they drop them off, and then they get to work, and then they come back home in the evening, they have dinner with their family, they sleep and repeat. They continue and maintain the same routine, the same structure over and over again for days on end. And honestly, this was a culture that I wasn't used to when I came here to Turkey. And it's a culture that I still am not to a certain level used to, and that's why I prefer to work alone and to freelance when it comes to video editing and whatnot. But that's another topic. I don't know why I'm diverging. So yeah, they live a very structured lifestyle over here in Turkey, Istanbul. There's also another aspect worth mentioning about the Turkish people, is that they give a lot of importance to house cleanliness. I mean, If you look out of your window on a very sunny, bright, clean evening, you would find a number of Turkish aunts and teyzes and, you know, moms and sisters, basically the entire all the women of the Turkish community risking their lives, okay? Risking their lives to clean a couple of windows. That's how dedicated this nation is to keeping their houses clean. I mean, it's honestly insane. I've never seen someone risk their lives in such a way that you just have to wipe a window. Like, relax, yeah, you don't have to, you know, this is borderline suicide, but who am I to judge, right? But yeah, this is another point worth mentioning about the Turkish people, is that their ihtimam, the importance that they give to cleanliness is on a whole other level. In addition to living a very structured life, they also give a lot of importance to social status and position and hierarchy. And you know, like, as an example, when I was in Malaysia, you know, it would be very easy to go, let's say, to a mama stall, you know, a food stall, and you would find a person who's a carpenter sitting with a person who's a painter, sitting with a person who works in a real estate job, sitting with a professor. You know, it's very common. People don't really give a lot of importance to social status and oh, you know, this person is working in such a position and such a position. But here in Turkey, Istanbul, based on what I've seen, to some degree, you know, how can a professor sit with his students? How can a person working in real estate, you know, mingle with people who are peasants or something like that? People in the city of Istanbul are generally very short-tempered, or as they say in Turkish, sıcaklıkan, which means they are hot-blooded. And, you know, that means that it's very common that, let's say, you're getting onto the bus, and you know, you're a bit late, you're a bit sloppy in withdrawing your Istanbul card, you know, you're a bit sloppy in that regard. And then the people behind you, the bus driver, everyone will start screaming and pressuring you, and they will get really mad at the fact that, you know, you can't take out your Istanbul card in time. So people here are very short-tempered, and they are very impatient. I mean, it's a city of 20 million, like, come on, no one has time for you. So living in a city of very short-tempered people, you have to really refine your argumentative skills. Over here in Istanbul, there are many people who would scam you, and there are many people who would swindle you by, first of all, you know, they would do something illegal. Like, let's say, you know, there are many taxis who scam people these days. They will take you on a very long route, right? They'll take you on a very long route. And when they demand their unfair share of the money, of the taxi fare, and you refuse to give them because obviously, you know, they swindled you, they took a route that was way too long, they will all of a sudden, you know, just blow up and begin to argue and throw a tantrum like a 4-year-old child, and they'll start screaming at you, and how could you do this, how could you not do this? This is their way of somewhat, you know, confusing you in the heat of the moment, so you bend you bow down your head to them and give them what they want, you know. And you could be in these scenarios either not a person who knows Turkish, or either a person who doesn't know Turkish. If you don't know Turkish, screaming in your own language would suffice to keep them at bay. You know, if you speak Arabic, scream at them, tell them, ya majnoon, ya hamar, or if English is your language, you tell them, bro, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? Are you retarded? Just go full out. Just unleash your anger if you must. But these kind of people who try to exploit you, and then they try to show a short-tempered side of them so that they can, you know, pressure you more into giving them what is unfairly theirs in the heat of the moment, do not bend to their requests, and, you know, fight for your rights. This is a city where people must fight for their rights. If you're a person who can speak Turkish, then good on you, because you know, knowing the language here is a great asset, especially when it comes to arguing and fighting. And man, I've been in a huge, like, I've had my share of fights and arguments, and in the heat of the moment, for some weird reason, my Turkish processing ability just increases. Like, when I am arguing with someone, I all of a sudden end up speaking way better Turkish than I usually do. But let's leave it there, guys. Here are 5 things that I've learned about the Turkish people of Istanbul, and I'm learning every day. And I hope that this video, you find it of benefit and you find it of help, inshallah. And till the next time, see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.